What is up, guys? This is Ethan Iverson, Ethan Deck HD here. And this is an iPhone 6 rumors and news. For people out there asking what basically is the iPhone 6, it's basically a way better version of an iPhone 5. That's the point of an update to a new phone, to a new number. For every single iPhone number, there's a much better phone with a lot more features, which this one will offer. Now before we start, I'll be getting all this information from TechRadar.com and MacRumors.com. Most likely, the iPhone 6 will have a sapphire crystal display, which meaning it'll be competing with a Gorilla Glass, which is basically less likely to shatter screens, which are in the Nexus 5 and phones like that. And it's supposed to look better, be sharper, and be more well built, meaning it cracks less likely. It's more or less likely to crack. It's supposed to be faster and a lot less energy consuming A8 chip, which is the CPU of this phone, which runs everything. It's the processor, it's the heart of this build, meaning it processes everything. So the more efficient it is, the more battery life ultimately, the more battery life you get. And it's supposed to be even smaller, meaning they can fit this in a smaller, more compact phone without overheating as such. And this is supposed to release sometimes fall 2014. Basically, they said they can find it down to September 2014. So you guys can look forward to September 2014. This channel will have its iPhone 6 review. Now, the design of the iPhone 6 is pretty dope. It's going to be a bezel-free, super slim, awesome phone. So it's going to have a bezel-free edge-to-edge display, which is going to go from the left to right or right to left, and it's going to fill up the whole side of the screen. Now the top and bottom will have a small area where you can do the camera and the Touch ID, and we'll get into Touch ID later. And the new backlighting will be LED, meaning it'll be thinner, so LED backlighting is a lot more efficient and a lot better than what the iPhone 5S or 5 has right now. So the 6 will be thinner also because of the LED backlight. A new rumor, pretty recent rumor, is that the iPhone 6 might still have the exact type of sensor that's in the iPhone 5S or 5. The 8 megapixel sensor, but it'll be processing it a lot better. So I'm not necessarily sure in that, and look forward to more. The iPhone 6 will most likely continue with the Touch ID, and it's going to be pretty good, and it's going to be in a small display at the very bottom. Now, if the iPhone 6e is a possibility, I'm not necessarily sure how that would look. I don't think that would look the best because of the phone, how the renders are looking right now, how the phone, based off of what people are telling them and rendering it, it does not look like it can be a C type of phone. Color with this phone kind of, to me, ruins the taste of it. But right now, the 5C looks pretty good, but I don't think the 6C will, because that's just in my opinion, it won't. With the new release, iOS 8 might come out, which would be amazing. I'm not sure if 8 would go down to iPhone 5S or just be exclusive to the iPhone 6. We don't know right now. We don't know if iPhone or iOS 8 will even exist when released. Most likely Apple will not keep a native operating system that's made for a 4-inch screen and put it on a 4.7 to 5.7 inch screen and keep it exactly the same. I think they're going to release iOS 8 with it, and it's going to be optimized for the iPhone 6, and it's going to be amazing. But the downside is I don't necessarily like iOS 7 from the get-go because it kind of takes a lot of big features from Android, but that's bound to happen when you have great features which Android came up with and Windows came up with. When you have great features like that, you're pretty much bound to be taken to iOS. And Apple, their products are very polished. It's everything about them is great. For the price of this phone, expect to pay a premium price. It's going to be a great phone, and don't expect it to be around $300 for that contract with the Nexus 5. But the only downside is the price, in my opinion, and I think that they should lower the price just a little bit. Besides, you're not really getting what you paid for. You're paying for the logo for Apple, but you're still getting a wonderfully packaged product. So this concept image, which you're looking at right now, looks pretty similar to an iPod Touch, 5th generation. They basically widened it up, made it taller, no bezel. You'll know that holding that little slim thing in your hand, it's not ideal for a phone. Number one, it's too light, it's too thin, and then it gets hot very easily. And it's not necessarily phone sized, it's just not. It's too small, it's too thin, and that's definitely what you don't want to do for a phone. You don't want to make it too slim where it just feels like a toy. But I do think this concept image is pretty dope. It looks nice, and it's something for the future. But then you get to the point where, what else can you add to make it even better? Some stuff will just start getting kind of repetitive, because adding all kinds of stuff that's not really necessary is where you can go wrong. So they try to add stuff that's pretty relevant, that you can actually use, not just some weird stuff that nobody would ever use. Kind of like S-Talk. S-Talk is pretty pointless, and I've tried it, and it's not. Two big rivals of the iPhone 6 would be the Samsung Galaxy S5 and the HTC One M8. So that's pretty much where the phone is trying to beat. It's trying to compare and compete with those two major phones. So those will be the big phones coming out, and you guys can look forward to reviews of those. But honestly, the only phone out of these three I'll be trying to get my hands on will be the iPhone 6 in September. And so that's where I'm trying to put all my money into right now, and that's the phone that I can almost guarantee you for a review. That's the phone I'm trying to get. Touch ID is kind of unknown right now. I'm pretty sure they're going to keep Touch ID. They're going to keep the home press, kind of. One of the prototypes Apple has announced is it has no home button, so I'm not necessarily sure how that's going to work. The prototype I showed you previously is it has a button, so I'm not necessarily sure what decision they're going to make, and if they have different models with different types of features. And I'm not necessarily sure, because Apple, they'll put out one product and that one product will be really good. So let's see what we get out of this. So, what do you think? Do you think it'd be worth updating from the iPhone 5S to the iPhone 5 or 4S or 4 to the iPhone 6? Let me know in the comments below. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Ethan Iverson, signing out.